Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our last match of day one of South American Contenders. On the desk, I have Frito and LaFawn, and we are so excited to bring to you one final matchup. The last one we just had went the distance, going to map 5, the final round. Oh, I'm not sure if we'll be able to be lucky enough to see this again, as we will be seeing the Black Dragons play against Up Gaming. And LaFawn, sorry to start on a bit of a sour note, but why do you think we might not go to a map 5 with this matchup?
I mean, one of the cool things we can talk about here is Up Gaming, actually. It's a team that we have high expectations of them. They have a team that is returning from last year. They upgraded, not necessarily upgraded. I would say they matured. They became more of a cohesive team, a little bit more used to playing with each other, a little bit more structured, if you will. Last season, they kind of followed the sort of the carry potential of TH7 as well as Edgigus, but I think coming into this season, there's a little bit more structure to their compositions. Play a little bit more around the tank play, a little bit more around the support play, instead of just having the carry potential in those two players that I mentioned. That being said, those two players are still here, and so that carry potential is basically in addition to what we kind of expect from a more cohesive team. So I'm really excited for Up Gaming in the future. They have the mechanics, they have the potential. The question is, can they execute? And for now, I think Up Gaming has the opportunity to display that in this matchup.
Yes, and Frito, do you think Up Gaming will be able to execute the Black Dragons?
Right. So Up Gaming, to me, when we start talking about playoff bound teams, they're right at the top of my list next to some of the best teams that are in the region right now, because as I think LaFawn said it great, that they've matured into being able to not just be a flashy pop-off team with their mechanical skill, but last week showing us an incredible 3-3 comp as well, where the teamwork is just simply there. A lot of times when these two types of comps go up against each other, it shows dramatically which team really has the teamwork and understands the matchup. And unfortunately for Black Dragons, well, they're a team that looked best when they weren't running the meta composition. Of course, 3-3, all based around teamwork. Black Dragons maybe is more of a hatchling in this maturity analogy that we're going through. They're not exactly on the same level as Up Gaming in that 3-3 matchup.
Well, we'll see right now as we go over to Ilios. Welcome back to Panda and Labasco. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Labasco Panda here with you. Up Gaming versus Black Dragons. Up Gaming coming in 1-0. Black Dragons at 0-1. 4 maps won for Up Gaming. 0 maps won for Black Dragons. So Panda, Black Dragons looking to turn things around here. Up Gaming looking to continue that streak that they have going on here of map wins.
And if there's anything more important, Labasco, to take after the previous match that we just saw, this group is up for grabs. And Up Gaming has their chance to go that much further into this group and solidify themselves as a top contender. It were very exciting last week, like Frito was mentioning. They pulled out a very good 3-3 composition. More importantly, this day itself seems to be the difference maker on the playing field. Look out for those Zenyatas. More importantly, look out for Tiago. We talked last season, in particular, the top 3 Zenyatas when they came out of the gates, the first one being Olay. I would say Tiago was a close second.
Well, we don't have any Zenyatas on the other side right now. Panda, Black Dragons deciding to go with Vetter on the Moira, so we will have the Moira 3-3 style versus the Zen 3-3 and the 3-tank 3 support. Control point going to be unlocking here in a second. Black Dragons have at least early control of that area. The only thing, though, is they have Up Gaming on the outside, looking for an opportunity to poke and prod their way in onto the map, pushing somebody off. Pardal gets Nitro out of here at the beginning, so a very good start at the very least for the side of Up Gaming as Pardal with that start. I mean, when you have a boop like that, it's hard to not be happy about it.
A very key boop at that. Getting rid of the Brigitte, whether it is by burst damage or a boop, is still good. Never in the end. Black Dragons had the control point covered, but the moment that it unlocked, Pardal hit the speed boost. They found the Discord orb from Tiago and just aggressed on it. The boop was found, and so much sustainability was taken away from Black Dragons without the Brigitte. Vetter's orb got immediately eaten from AGM. Here comes their Coalescence.
Black Dragons not wasting any time pushing in with that Coalescence. Their team has been split up, though, is the only problem. Edgigas takes advantage of it and takes Kyo down. Nitro, however, is able to get Tiago out of this fight as well. So we're even here with both those support players going. TH7 and Chozine for Up Gaming, though, keeping things in favor of Up.
2 team fights in a row. Nitro got thrown off the edge this time by Chozine on that Winston, so the Primal Rage will be out of the way for Upgaming, but they have both their support ultimates walking in. More importantly, TH7 hanging on to this Graviton Surge. Black Dragons, they have no way of dealing with this unless Winnie King builds up a sound barrier in the next second, because TH7, he's on the flank, he's looking for it. He kind of gets absolutely huge.
They didn't see him, and also Graviton Surge grabs everyone. They use their defensive ultimates, though, in there to keep everybody up for Black Dragons. So Graviton Surge is at least canceled at the moment. Doesn't matter, though, because as soon as the sound barrier is gone, everybody begins to fall.
And Nitro fallen with that rally ultimate, taking a long time, 70% to the control meter of Upgaming for Nitro to finally get that rally, and then fell with it. So Vetter has this Coalescence ready for the next team fight, but they don't have the defensive ultimate. TH7 hanging out at the high charge, getting those key bubbles onto AGM and Chozine, who has that next Primal Rage available. It's quite a spectacle to see how much space can be created when you have Edgigus on the front line as Brigitte not even budging. Tiago in this back line has been a spectacle with those Orbs of Destruction. Look at Paradol. He's just waiting to see if they come through the side to try to speed onto the point. They are not. They are main.
Earthshatter comes out, doesn't actually catch anybody, but Winking was able to get Tiago out in the meantime. Kyo and Nitro as well following up afterwards. There was the Graviton Surge throw in there as well to make sure that this worked as the overtime meter is going. Chozine, though, trying to turn it around on the Primal Rage. Did manage to get Sean off at the very least, so you won't have that high charge Zarya at the very least. And that's good, because that Zarya is super far away from a grab.
And speaking of Zarya's, Sean off actually fell in the bottom end of that fight, so no charge for Black Dragon Zarya as they have control of the point, and this is really good for Upgaming just to speed boost out to this point, because Tiago still has this Transcendence, so they can use this very aggressively and to create more space for AGM to find this bomb, but the speed boost coming out from Winnie King is going to be Black Dragons aggressing on Upgaming.
They're getting pushed back is the only problem. They use their barrier early on the Reinhardt from the Zarya, so trying to get charged up is Sean up. Kyo coming swinging in here towards the back line, forces Tiago's Transcendence. AGM able to get Stylo out of mech might be enough for Upgaming here to force their way onto this point and eventually win this fight. Tiago taking Kyo down as well, and the Brigitte and Nitro falls as well. TH7 with another Graviton Surge to just throw out here if they need overtime. Almost gone. And that Graviton doesn't stop Stylo from getting in, but they're finding the eliminations needed to eventually win this fight. Coalescence isn't going to matter.
Yeah, the self-destruct came through from AGM, and it found Sean off, who was very close to that Graviton Surge. Could have been the difference maker for Black Dragons on the re-entry, but Upgaming was ready with all their ultimates and the man advantage. Upgaming will go up 1-0 on this map so far, Labasco. So as we go into the next stage, it really comes down to see how Black Dragons adapt to the play style of Upgaming. It's going to be Ruins, and although this used to be Widowmaker's playground, with the strength of the 3-3 composition, probably won't see too much of it, but Black Dragons, give me a run for my money. You can take a look at Nitro over here, and Stilo.
Is it strength, or is it beef?
I have no idea, man. But yeah, I can tell you Beef does get pounded by a seismic slam coming out from any Doomfist. And the better part about it is that this can absolutely disrupt Edgigus on this Brigitte. But here's the thing about Edgigus. He is a bear. And if you poke that Brigitte bear, he will come out on his Doomfist. This is a Doomfist-eccentric player from the South American region. And if Upgaming come out on that flexibility gate, Black Dragons need to be careful. Black Dragons with their Ana, comparatively Tiago on this Moira, have more utility in their support line.
Have to pay attention to Stylo's Doom. Didn't have the best Doomfist game last week. Looks to redeem himself this week. Looks for the uppercut onto the Reinhardt and does get him off the map. So Chozine out at the beginning here is a great start for Upgaming.
And Stilo finding... Yeah, finds TH7 afterwards. So the rest of the team of Upgaming, they're just going to go ahead and plummet themselves, go for the hard reset. Nitro finding the headshot onto the Brigitte afterwards as well. It's going to solidify Black Dragons capitalizing on this point. Kyo did a lot of frontline work. We'll have an Earthshatter coming out here momentarily. Upgaming, they're not taking any sort of changes whatsoever. The real story is who is actually equipped to deal with this Widowmaker in the sky. The truth is actually AGM. The only player on Upgaming is D.Va to dislodge this Widowmaker. Sure, there's a lot of armor for the Widow's Kiss to deal through, but that damage gets debunked by Stilo.
Uppercuts Chozine back into the air again, so you have that main tank displaced here. Nitro's trying to stay alive, backs himself away from the point, and while that's happening, Edgigus finds 2. So that's what's needed for the side of Upgaming. Only gets a 39%.
And taking down the Doomfist is the way to go about it. The more that the main tank of Chozine can hang out is the way that they can solidify themselves on this point, are able to hold on to the Earth Shatter and the Coalescence. So Upgaming, they can defensively hang out here for a while. Vetter pulling out the Nano Boost onto Stilo, has the Meteor Strike available.
Coalescence out here. You do still have that Nano Boost on the Doomfist. Finally ends. Didn't get any value out of it. Does have a Meteor Strike that he can use here. Finds himself a Lucio 2 that he uppercuts into the air and takes out. Dropping on to TH7 as well. Right clicks in with that rocket punch towards the Reinhardt. Doesn't kill him, but at least displaces him. And now finds himself a Moira who gets kept up by Nitro. Able to take that Diva out of mech. Can maybe help turn this fight around, getting closer to that point to get some more shots in from close range. Gets booped away a little bit here, and it looks like control will stay for Upgaming.
Thiago stayed alive at the end of that. Keep in mind, you holding on to the Fate ability and staying alive by his own Biotic Orb is the way to go. That is smart, methodical Moira play if I've ever seen it. Oh, again, finding the uppercut, finds another environmental kill. Graviton Surge, Self-Destruct is all being thrown into this fight by Upgaming.
Nitro finds AGM again, so AGM quickly taken out of this one as well. Stylo continuing on this Doomfist, and Kyo swinging his hammer in towards the rest of the players left. Black Dragons will take this point back. Ooh, almost got that Fire Strike, but Shauna finishes it part all off.
One more team fight could actually set up Gaming for the win here on Ruins and the victory on this map, Lebosco. But Black Dragons, they seem to not be, they don't want to be denied here. They're coming out here on the flexibility comp with the Widowmaker and the Doomfist, and it's really paying dividends. Vetter's about to have another Nano Boost available. Probably going to go over to Stilo, or if not, Kyo. With that Earth Shatter, a lot of good cleanup can come through when you Nano Boost a Reinhardt.
Going around towards that left side of the point is Upgaming. They're now on there. They have control. Stylo quickly punching in. Gets the shield onto him. Now Meteor strikes up into the air. Two players that are down. Oh, they got moved away. It didn't work. Josine comes in and slams him on the Reinhardt. And Gigas is able to get better as well. This might be disastrous for Black Gaming. Josine with the Earth Shatter available as well as they take it back.
That is the most heads-up charge you have ever seen from a veteran Reinhardt like Chozine, waiting for the invulnerability to come off from a downtown charge of the Cubby on point. 90% here for Upgaming, just a moment's notice. And Earth Shatter to Chozine's name can stop Black Dragons in their track.
Amazing, too, because it was the Diva on the side of Black Dragons, too. I think it was, sorry, it was, I didn't see who it was who booped players away, but the caused that to miss everybody. But the fight happening here. Chozine uses the Air Shatter. Sound Barrier keeps everybody alive here. Charge in on Kyo, takes him down quickly, and he finds a Fire Strike kill as well. Blocks as much damage with the shield as possible here as this fight continues on the point. 99% have to try and flip it back over to your Black Dragons before that overtime meter comes out, but that's not going to be the case. Upgaming will win this one and go up 1-0 after the first map.
Making Moira work. I almost guarantee you have a local analyst here on the desk. LaFon is certainly proud that he saw Moira really well. I'm just kidding. LaFon isn't the biggest fan of Moira. But anyway, Thiago really showing the strength there of how good a Moira can be, in the sense that you can land a lot of burst healing when the defense matrix of the enemy Diva isn't at play. It's really heads up, big brain play from the support line through those two maps. And I would definitely say that's what Upgaming has going in their favor. When you have such a strong support line supporting each other very effectively, it almost seems like your front line is not a lot, or your front line doesn't go down too easily. Edgigus on that Brigitte rounding out that third support for the insider of Upgaming. Chozine, he just seemed like he went Super Saiyan God. He wasn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it was pretty crazy. I feel like the biggest moment too, though, was when the Meteor Strike is coming in. And then I don't know who it is on Black Dragons, but they actually displaced the two characters that Stylo was dropping onto, so they don't end up falling. They end up staying alive, and right as he hits the ground, what comes in with the Reinhardt with the charge to take him down, where basically you had two players that you were going to take out, but the swap ends up happening where you lose one instead. So it's a 3-player switch that ends up happening. It was just incredible that that's what happened as we're watching the replays that are happening right now, at least on this map, as you saw Stylo just sending Pardal away.
Yeah, and that was actually the most manic Doomfist play being played out there. But Edgigus is no slouch to a Doomfist player, and that Doomfist player himself stayed on Brigitte and really held his own on the front line again, really enabling Chozine. Let's put it this way, Lebosco, that there were only a few members for Black Dragons that could have, I guess, stopped their own Doomfist ultimate from being absolutely huge, and that was probably going to be the right click from Winnie King on that Lucio, or perhaps a charge from their Reinhardt, but I didn't see him anywhere near that. So it just comes down to those very chaotic team fights when the game is on the line. You really need to have the most crisp communication on everything that's happening in team fight, because this is 3v3. Even when you're not running it on your team and the enemy team is, those team fights last forever, and you need to keep your head on a swivel.
And we want you to join our team here at Broadcast.gg. We help you grow as a broadcaster. We're constantly creating opportunities for exposure and practice like this one that you're seeing happen right now. We're always collaborating and creating other resources to push esports forward. So if you also have a love for esports, make sure you join us in the Discord. There's a link in the panel down below. We're just looking for our next map here, and it's going to be Hollywood Panda. So we saw, there was some interesting things we got to see from Black Dragons. Hollywood is a map that 3-3 has been very dominant, at least from what we've seen so far. But there has been a couple other interesting things that we've seen pulled out.
Absolutely. And one of the more interesting things have been Doomfist players, Sombra players, some Genji players at the same time, all of which TH7, Shawnoff, and Stilo all have within their playbook. So when it's going through the streets phase or even on point A, if flexibility seems to be the name of the game for Black Dragons, this could be their map to take, especially when a Doomfist punch can dismantle a Ghost composition very effectively just by use of one cooldown, or per se, a Sombra player likes to come out here in those final moments of Hollywood, and that can be the best way to absolutely dismantle a 3-3 composition. We talked about it earlier in our first match here on Broadcast.gg for this day on SA Contenders, that when you have a EMP every other team fight going into a 3-3 composition, you take away their cooldowns, you take away their sustainability, and they can't even speed anywhere. They are just sitting noodles at that point, and all of that tank and beefiness turns into juicy ult charge for the rest of your members.
And you know, too, that for Black Dragons, one of the talks prior to coming into this was Stylo on Doomfist didn't have the best day last week. You know, even though they lost that first map, is doomed to look good today. And if they decide to use it here again, I mean, it feels like more of a confident pick than what we were thinking it might be.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Here's the more interesting aspect of that Doomfist player in particular, is that Shawnoff is actually listed as their DPS player, while Stilo is listed as their flex tank to work with Keel on the front line. Here's the thing about Doomfist in particular, a lot of tanks feel comfortable on him because he is that brawler. He is that style. The Shawnoff probably has a lot more hit scans in his pocket, which is why he feels comfortable on the Zarya. It's going to be Black Dragons on their first attack here for Hollywood. They're going to come out here with that flexibility comp that I was talking about. It's actually a 1-2-3 Doomfist Soul DPS versus Up Gaming. They have a 3-3 composition. Tiago sticking on the Moira.
Moira versus Zen compositions here. The defensive team, the one with the Moira, the Zen being on the attacking team. Chozin quickly pushing his way forward. Not working though. Tiago will lose his life instead. So Tiago being gone here at the beginning is a huge loss for the defending team in Up Gaming. Shawnoff forward onto GH7, quickly eliminated, and right-clicking in there is Stylo rocket punching forward, as this will be a fairly quick take for the side of Black Gaming.
Up Gaming getting a little too big for the britches. I mean, you want early ult charge, sure, but why would you go that far past the car? I mean, you can see Black Dragons rolling out with this composition, the Discord orb from Vector on top of the frontline pressure with Nitro in between. There's just so much burst damage for your Reinhardt to get obliterated, and you can tell that fact after the fight is over because Chozin only has 30% to his charge, while Caillou's probably going to have his in this next team fight. TH7's flexing onto the Sombra, which could be good to stop Black Dragons in their track. They just need to be careful and to really track where Silo is on these movements.
The Black Dragons getting that cart moving through, already have it through, so there wasn't that early recontest from the side of Up Gaming. Shawnoff quickly eliminating Chozin here at the beginning. Winnie King getting Tiago down as well, so that cart will just continue to roll as Up Gaming quickly goes back towards their spawn.
And without many ultimates thrown out, they had the armor used from the rally short, but they didn't have to use any impactful ultimates such as tanks, supports, or even that Doomfist. So Up Gaming gonna have a hard time sustaining themselves as this meteor strike comes through. Graviton starts to bunch everybody up.
Dragons being preemptive with their ultimates here. Quick 2 eliminations down in the beginning. Winnie King eliminating his counterpart in Pardell as well. So just moving that cart forward even more. Haven't had any problems as the snowball continues.
One ultimate used here, 2 ultimates used here. It's about to be a full capture here for Black Dragons. Oh, getting hacked as you were falling off the jail. That's very unfortunate, but the payload just stops 0.01 meters before the capture.
Ichigas in to kill Kyo as well. So Kyo quickly down in this fight, almost getting on to Stylo, but can't quite take him down. There is a sound barrier there, but they at least have control of the cart again for Upgaming. Black Dragons will now have to go to the drawing board. Worst place for this cart to stop too. It's so far from their spawn.
We see so many teams getting stalled out here, Labas. It is just so very sad because the spawn room is so far, like you had said. And more importantly, the ult economy is heavily in the favor now for the defending team. Upgaming, they're about to have an EMP to shut down all these tanks of Black Dragons. And they have a sound barrier to sustain themselves in the middle of this fight. And a Graviton Surge to boost to group hug everybody from Black Dragons unwarrantedly. So with Black Dragons coming in here to this attack, they need to be careful. They need to watch their steps.
Somebody hiding behind too for Upgaming behind Dragons. Couldn't see who it was. Doesn't matter though. EMP is what comes out here, and that will be enough to get this team right here. Stylo in though to take out Chozine, so this evens things up here a little bit. That Doomfist can be the great equalizer, and now you're starting to see advancing backboard again. Oh, but they lose their Lucio's the only problem. TH7 doing work on that back line. Kind of got lost there, went to the Reinhardt, but the fight ends up being a win for the side of Upgaming.
Yeah, it was... Sure, you could take that trade, main tank for main tank, but when you stop keeping track of the Sombra in your backline and you lose more damage and lose more members of your team, that trade becomes inevitably just bad, unfortunately, because the spawn room advantage comparatively where the card is in the favor of Upgaming. Just look at TH7, just being a little gnat, trying to track where Style is going all the time. Waiting for this perfect moment to hack. He's going to be able to track him going over to the saloon and just going to continue on his gnat behavior and just whittling him down.
Oh, he gets pushed off that high ground, though, by the Brigitte. Out comes the Meteor Strike with the Graviton. Doesn't find anyone. TH7, in the meantime, finds the main tanking kill, allowing for his team to continue advancing forward. Upgaming, keeping control on the cart here. Nitro is living as long as possible. Down to 2 minutes. That's the one good thing here, because the Dragons took it so quickly. They still have a large time bank left, and they've whittled into some of these ults, but there's still so many coming for Up.
And big staggers coming through there at the end for Vetter and Shanoff. So Black Dragons are going to have to go for that full reset. They're going to have to see on that drawing board what they have to work with. It's going to be their Earth Shatter and a couple of support ultimates to go around with it. Silo is actually swapping off the Doomfist now, so a true 3-3 composition coming out here with the Diva included in tow. But the ult economy is too heavy in the favor of Upgaming. They are about to have another EMP, and that's going to be the most devastating thing to cut through besides the armor that the rally is now placing for Upgaming.
Preemptive rally, Earth Shatter out, doesn't find anybody, but that's okay. Doesn't matter because they're still able to wipe everyone with the help of the EMP. So they had to use maybe one extra altar that they didn't want to, Panda, but they still have control with 1:15 left to go. Only problem is they're down ults.
They are down a bunch of things besides ultimates, Labasco, but Upgaming, they are not falling down anytime soon, considering how much healing Tiago is getting off for free with this Moira, and that is probably why Steela had to swap over to the Diva to shut down the healing from Tiago, but it might be too late. The Graviton Surge comes through for Shanoff, however.
Charge in, takes out Edgigas. Chozine falls as well. Kill, swinging that hammer forward along with the Zarya to finally get control of that cart back for the Dragons. And now looks like they might be able to get this cart all the way there before anyone can come back. There is 35 seconds left. Somebody may be able to stall this cart out for them to have a quick regroup, but it looks like Upgaming might be deciding to not. Although here comes the Wrecking Ball, and Chozine made that switch. Edgigas onto the Doomfist as well. TH7 finds Winnie King in the back. Earth Shatter does at least get one down. Self-destruct, can't find anything. TH7 finds Vetter as well. So the backline being devastated by the Dragons here. Of the Dragons, their backline is being devastated, but it seems like they might have done enough to get this cart there, at least for the moment. Just have to take Chozine out and this Lucio who's come back. As they do have the numbers, it will be an overtime when they finally get through these doors.
And that is the most painful part about this. Look how fast all the members of Upgaming are. Even Edgigas coming back here on the Doomfist, getting 60% to his ult charge. So many fast characters. They are still staggering this one out. AGM will finally fall, and the payload will finally be able to see point C of Hollywood. So now with Black Dragons dealing with those last staggers, Shanoff swapping back over to the Zarya, just trying to get back to the point faster. They do have a plethora of ult percentage to play around with walking into this next fight. On the other side, Up Gaming, they had to take swaps to try to stall off that fight. Chozine, TH7, and Edgegus all took different swaps at a moment's notice, so now their ult economy is absolutely destroyed. Tiago swapping from the Moira over to the Zenyatta is going to look to land this Discord Orb on the Kyo, but they need to be careful because they still have more burst healing and more utility because of the Ana Biotic Grenade.
Luckily for them, there's not many ults ready yet for Black Dragons. They're just a lot closer. They do have the Earth Shatter available here. Comes out, does manage to catch the Diva, but it doesn't get the Lucio, who's able to throw Sound Barrier onto everybody. Stylo shooting at Chozine, but he can't get it through that Sound Barrier. Throws his Self-Destruct in, looking for something here. Can't find anything. Stylo and Winnie King instead, and Nitro following up afterwards. So the self-destruct at least gets the Diva mech gone. So now Up Gaming in a bad spot. They're going to have to regroup. They will have enough time here to at least get together one last time.
And Tiago's going to be able to have this Transcendence for Shanoff's Graviton Surge. That's probably the most important ultimate coming around for Up Gaming. However, they will have a plethora of ultimates in the middle of this next team fight. If they get back out here in a moment's notice, they can deal with Vetzer's Nano Boost effectively. Biotic Grenade gets thrown out by Vetter, but it actually gets eaten by AGM.
Transcendence coming out. Here's Shanoff finding the player in the back line. And Edgigas, who's trying to push. TH7, though, and Chozine don't really care about that. Self-destruct. And we had somebody end up DCing here. And Edgigas, Up Gaming was starting to take control there, it looked like, as well as Black Dragons were starting to fall, Panda. But when you look at how it's going right now, they are so close for the side of Black Dragons, even though they are 2 players down. It ends up being only 1 because of the DC.
And it's an overtime, too. So even with that rally gone, just to fully speculated, Shanoff already threw out the Graviton Surge, so Tiago had to use the Transcendence, right? But TH7 still has a Graviton Surge, so in proper theory, I could see this defense really holding up for Up Gaming. But when you walk back in here and with the man down, it really could spell a big difference. So both teams, when we resume this match, won't have a Brigitte on the field. This is going to be vanilla Overwatch at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. The only difference in Playmaker could be TH7. If he wants us to end right here, right now, that Graviton Surge could be the defense and the hold for Up Gaming.
Well, the one thing to point out, too, is what we can see on the monitor, and you'll see it as soon as we get back into game. But right before the pause happened, Shanoff is at 39 HP and just threw out the Graviton Surge. So this Graviton Surge is going to catch a couple of players, and you can see it now on your screen. AGM, Partal are definitely going to be caught in. Doesn't look like TH7 will, but this is still a position where maybe something can happen. But the only thing is Shanoff probably going to fall here. I mean, you can see the colors coming towards Shanoff. This is not the best spot to be in as far as Black Dragons is concerned, but it's not completely unwinnable. The only problem is the person that needs to carry the fight for you is Stylo.
Yeah, and it actually could be a lot bigger of a Graviton Surge, all things considering, because Tiago had to already use that the Transcendence. It's already looking like, yes, it's going to catch Pardal, it's going to catch AGM, but with Shanoff gone, and with him going at 90% charge, that is a lot of damage out of the way. Your third support of Nitro is gone for Black Dragons, but Vetter is still there, so the healing can still come around from the Ana to keep Shanoff alive. If the Biotic Grenade is available, you can still burst heal the target of your friendly Zarya. Up Gaming might have their hands full when we resume this game. All things considering, the one difference, again, is that one team has a main tank and a spawn room advantage, and that's Chozine and Up Gaming.
The other thing, too, I think to point out, and is that, for Up Gaming, even if you lose this fight, the fact that it's in overtime, still a really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaving off all the time on a hybrid map is the best thing you could always ask for, regardless of your adversary's capping all 3 points. Because if you, on your attack, are able to cap all 3 points, then with time available, you have that moment to attack the capture point to capture 1 tick and win away with the map. But I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to take a quick time out here, perhaps. And then when we come back, we will have what's going to happen at the end here of Hollywood for map number 2. Back here on Broadcast.gg, Labasco and Panda here with you. We see that the push is ended for Black Dragons there, so unfortunately they could not win that last battle out, Panda, but they did push the cart fairly far. There's still something for them to do here to try and even this up at 1-1.
All of that speculation for nothing. That big Graviton surge that could have happened found nothing. But they still had 2 capture points, and the payload is 73.6 meters into third. So there is a win condition set for Black Dragons. Upgaming are looking to play spoiler on Black Dragons' hopes going into the half on being a map up for up on Upgaming. Wow, that was a lot harder to say than I thought it was going to be. This alien is really giving me a throw for the loop here. Upgaming on their attacking phase, however, not switching off a single thing. The Zenyatta Lucio Brigitte triple support. The Siege 7 on that Zarya has been a very good standout. Even when Black Dragons taking yourself all the way back from to Ruins on the previous map wasn't enough to stop the 3-3 composition of Upgaming. And if they continue that snowbally mentality that we know 3-3 can do, we could see this payload capturing into this final point faster than I guess a Lucio can speed boost around Route 66. I don't know. I was looking for a better analogy. I couldn't find one.
What do you think for Black Dragons as far as what they're showing us here, as far as the defense is coming? They're going with Stylo on that Doomfist again.
It's a huge if, right? If Stylo lands that punch onto Edgegus to displace a Reinhardt or the Brigitte, if he can land a quick meteor strike onto the backline of Tiago or Pardal, it's going to be very good. I like to see the 1-2-3 composition for Black Dragons. It worked out very well for them on their attack phase, but it all comes down to this. Stylo charging up the punch, misses it all, whiffs, Seismic slams back to his team in safety.
That's the nice thing, though. He's able to get back to safety, but Kyo can't do anything about what's in front of him as he is bullied on that front line by TH7, who is up to 100% charge and is just continuing to build towards that Graviton Surge. It looks like it'll be a quick take for Upgaming, just like what happened for Black Dragons on their attack.
Nitro looking to place it like he's absolutely not displacing this Brigitte. Nitro staying alive for a long time, and that's Upgaming giving the respect to Black Dragons, waiting for the rest of their members to respawn and recontest the 6. You hardly see that in this region or at this in this map in particular. Shanoff's gonna have the Graviton Surge. Both these Zarya's did a lot of work for their teams respectively, going up around the villa on the flank, throwing it down, finds 3.
Not able to get there in time was the Diva. Chozine, in the meantime, takes out 2 of the supports, though. And even though they got caught in that Graviton Surge, Upgaming lives through it, and Black Dragons will have to live to fight for another day.
Yeah, and they're going to have a decent amount of ultimates to their name as well. Both are support ultimates between Pardal and Tiago. Tozine is going to hold on to this Earth Shatter. A lot of armor being exhausted there at the final moment. Upgaming we're going to be working towards their next rally and their next set of ultimates, but as Black Dragons took a clean wipe, they all got to respawn together, so a very aggressive hold is about to be coming around.
Coming around through the doors right now is the side of Upgaming. 442 to push through this street phase and trying to get on the third. Stylo gets stunned out, is able to back away, uses the Earth Shatter, Earth Shatter came out while the Meteor Strike is happening. TH7 able to take Kyo out of this fight at the very least. Stylo not getting much out of that Doomfist, at least in this fight, and his team still brawling, but TH7 continues to eliminate players. Did manage to get Edgegas, but it was too little too late.
TH7's charge has been immense. So high compared to Shanoff. He has another Graviton Surge. Sure, Shanoff will have another one rounding about in the middle of this next team fight, but the more devastating one is that Black Dragons, they have the sound barrier to combat against the Graviton Surge at TH7, but Upgaming, they have with Transcendence. One is arguably stronger than the other inside of Graviton Surge. If Winning King doesn't time this perfectly, it could be devastating for Black Dragons, but the nano boost from Vetter goes back over to Silo.
Gets caught though in the Graviton Surge, so he's going to be stuck there for the meantime. Black Dragons uses their sound barrier in the meantime. TH7 still in the thick of everything, finding some eliminations, does manage to help with Chozine to get Nitro down. Shanoff stuck in the middle of everything, and Upgaming winning this fight, but it is definitely one that hasn't been easy for them. Meteor Strike in Stylo quickly taken down. See if he decides to switch off Doom.
With that kill on a TH7, that is a lot bigger than it may seem. Sure, the fight was won by Upgaming. That's a lot of charge that got taken away from TH7. He's not going to be able to snowball into this next Graviton Surge. Rally's going to come through for Edgegus, so that's going to be Black Dragons saying, okay, let's back up. Let's set up a defense here for point 3, because if we lose the next team fight convincingly, increasingly, it's going to be the map, and we will not be able to come back into halftime. Upgaming with these two ultimates, more in particular with the self-destruct from AGM, could spell the end for Black Dragon. Stylo on this Doomfist hasn't been as impactful as we had hoped, but if he gets another Meteor Strike and combine it with the Graviton Surge, it would be so huge.
Big Earth Shatter comes out from Josina, who was hit up into the air, able to swing his way into Kyo, and they clean up once again. TH7, even though he lost a lot of charge, well, he's got it all back, Andy.
Yeah, that is very right. All the way back up to 70 charge. Look at that. It is just so devastating. You almost think that, yeah, it's 3-3 composition. We have no DPS, but have you seen my boy Zenyatta? Have you seen my girl Zarya? They are absolutely devastating when they go unchecked. Black Dragons are going to be able to come back in here underneath the rally to set up these tank ultimates. Look out for the shield bash and to set up this Earth Shatter from Kyo.
Looking for their opportunity is Upgaming. Graviton Surge comes out here, grabs a few of the players for the side of Upgaming. Transcendence keeps everybody alive. It's the only problem. Now their Earth Shatter along with that barrier comes in, and now they finally find their last few players, and we'll get to that golden box and get the win and go up 2-0 here over Black Dragons.
Clinical support play coming out of Upgaming all the way through into this very fine moment. Their Moira play, their Lucio play, but above all, their ult economy and usage with their support ultimate, Sound Barrier, and Transcendence was fantastic. Utilizing that Transcendence to keep everybody alive. Everybody forgot that, well, hey, there's a Reinhardt there, and we didn't ult track that he had an Earth Shatter, so now we have 2 on the ground, and here we are, 2-0 up on up. Yeah, 2-0 for Upgaming going into the half. That's huge.
Yep, very huge and very interesting things that the desk will have to talk about. So Katrina, Lafon, Frito, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you so much, Labasco and Panda. Yes, there was Graviton Surges everywhere, so many great Earth Shatters, great Transcendences, but ultimately, I would have to say this was the battle of the Doomfist on Hollywood. Stilo was able to take up so much space, get so many great kills, but Lafon, was this just him playing well by himself, or did he have a little extra support behind him?
I mean, his Doomfist wasn't bad. It seems to me in this particular meta where we're running the 3-3, Doomfist requires a setup that, yeah, Hollywood second is possibly the best place that you're going to get him to actually work, but it's just so strange to me the choices that Black Dragons are making, and it kind of shows in the scoreline. Upgaming have been content to run the 3-3 throughout this series and have looked the better for it. They've kind of run a speed run so far in this matchup. It's 2-0, but it hasn't really been that long.
No, it hasn't. And part of that, you were talking about some very interesting compositional picks coming from Black Dragons. And Frito, I remember when we were watching Ilios together, especially on Ruins, that Doomfist and Widowmaker composition wasn't necessarily up to par, let's just say. Why was that the case?
Yeah, interesting is not quite the word. I would experimental, or maybe to not be too uneducated kind of on how the meta works. I think is like, well, they don't look very strong in the 3-3 matchup because it's very deep and dense in terms of the command you need to have on all those different heroes and synergies. But they are good at DPS, so I like them leaning into the damage. But you see either with this Doomfist comp on Hollywood that we were just showing on screen, or even on Ruins where they're playing both Widowmaker and Doomfist, there isn't a lot of synergy to be had. And in fact, I think with if you look to like other teams that are running some of these DPS picks a bit more successfully, you can see the different picks that are chosen in order to set them up. The problem is if you run Rein Zarya with Widowmaker Doomfist, your 2 DPS are playing just to get picks. There's no Sombra in the mix there who's like potentially able to disable a tank for focus fire or eventually getting a fight-winning EMP with their poke. Instead, you have 2 pick-off characters that are playing the entire team fight essentially, boom or bust, to either get a kill or don't. And there's a key moment where one of my favorite players on Upgaming, Partle, came in with a clutch Sound Barrier in order to save for some follow-up coming from the Doomfist. And the problem is there isn't enough disable to really peel apart a cohesive 3-3 team comp, which is kind of the issue. I wish that we saw Black Dragons lean more into the DPS play even, and drop the Rein Zarya if you have to. Either play dive tanks, we've seen Hammond work today, because when you don't have your own extra 3/3 pieces, the extra pieces of that goat's puzzle to keep up your Reinhardt, well, they just target him. You only get one bubble. You don't have as much support. You don't have stuns. You don't have the D.Va to protect him. And you're essentially putting out your Reinhardt high and dry and saying good luck while your pickoff characters have to somehow get a kill in that small window of time. And it looks a little bit better when you're going up against the Zen goats on Hollywood, where because they don't have Moira or Ana, maybe you can say, well, we don't need the D.Va here so much against Zen. We can play the Doomfist. Looks a little bit more convincing for me there. But in general, I would like to see the Black Dragons lean into Stilo if he's your win condition on Doomfist, set him up with Sombra and dive tanks and all the other things that'll really enable that play.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a half-hearted attempt at running the composition, right? It's like they're like, okay, we know that Doomfist is, theoretically really good at taking out, these high HP heroes because you can punch them into the wall and sort of disable them, but then they don't play the remainder of the composition. It's like if you played Goats without, I don't know, Brig D.Va. It's not Goats. So if you're going to play that anti-Goats composition without the remainder of the pieces, then you're not playing that composition. So yeah, just to basically reinforce that point. Play the composition if that's what you think that you're good at, but they're playing it by halves, and as a result, the results they're getting are not there.
And we eventually did see a switch to a very true anti-triple tank, triple support Goats composition coming from Upgaming at the end of second point for Hollywood on Upgaming's defense, where Edgicus, who has been doing extremely well on the Brigitte, providing great amount of sustainable damage, but he finally got to shine on his Doomfist hero, something that I really do hope we will see later on tonight. So we did finally see TH7 flex onto that Sombra, Edgicus onto the Doomfist, but Edgicus is such an interesting, just kind-hearted player overall, LaFawn. There's a special place in our heart for this 16-year-old prodigy. Could you tell us a little bit more about his story?
Yeah, it stems back to last season, actually. He was playing for this roster. When he came out this roster, rather, they hadn't won a game. As soon as he joins, they start to turn around. They come in with victories. And Edgicus, he has been credited as saying, whatever the team needs, I'll play it. If it's Lucio, I'll play it. If it's, he's completely for the team. He'll play whatever they need to win, and that's very important. You need that kind of player. And I think more importantly, not only does he bring that attitude of wanting to win through the team, he also is good at playing the heroes that he plays for the team. So it's not just, players be like, oh, I'll flex if I need to, but he not only does he flex if he needs to, he does it well, which is, I think, more important in this regard. Edgicus has been a bright spot for Upgaming, and I look to see how he continues it in this series.
And Upgaming, after switching to that very anti-Goats composition on their defense of Hollywood, they did eventually go back to that very traditional triple tank, triple support Goats composition with a Zenyatta against Black Dragon's Ana. So, Frito, do you think that this shows some confidence that Upgaming has in that they're willing to take a near mirror matchup?
Oh, most definitely. We saw it last week, and we're seeing it this week again. That really, it's sort of a skill check on a team right now to say, can you run Zen Goats? Because it's one of the strongest comps, and you need to be able to pull it out at a moment's notice and be able to go toe-to-toe with other teams that are really good at running it. And it's unfortunate for Black Dragons, because I actually think Upgaming might be one of the better teams running the comp right now with their synergy. So I look to them to not do things too crazy here in the second half, probably seal out the win with more 3-3 on map 3, but we do know that they like to pull out some of the fireworks and the shock and glamour on map 4 sometimes if the series is won, and then we'll probably see some more Edgicus Doomfist, which I'm excited to see, hopefully.
Oh my gosh, my fingers are absolutely crossed for that right now. I think that, is there anything that Black Dragons can do to make their mark a little bit more here, LaFawn?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's not like these players are not without talent. I think Black Dragons has shown that they can compete. Stilo has done a great job on the Doomfist. Is that they don't have that completion realistically, right? I want them to fully commit. If you're gonna go Goats, if you're going to play that composition, make sure to play it. If you're playing the 3-3 with a Doomfist instead of the D.Va, then don't play Goats. Just play the Doomfist compositions you want to. So for Black Dragons, I have to say, commit to your game plan. Don't play half and half. Don't try and out mechanics the other team because they're good at the mechanical level. Play as a team, play your choices, and you'll likely have a better outcome, I think.
Yes, so I'm really lucky to have you two as my team. I think our synergy is getting up to that level. Maybe you'll see us in open divisions coming up soon. If you still want to join open division, you have until December 3rd to register. But for now, let's just take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Back on Broadcast.gg, Labasco and Panda getting ready for the second half here between Up Gaming and Black Dragons. It is currently 2-0 in favor of Up Gaming, looking at map number 3 here to close this one off and get the win. Of course, they want to win both maps that we have coming back here. We don't know where we're going to just yet, Panda, but we know that, well, we actually do know we're going to Hanamura. But what we don't know, that's okay. It's okay to cheat sometimes.
What?
What we do know, what we do know is that Up Gaming only needs to win here on Hanamura in order to seal themselves a victory. What do you think of their chances of doing so, and what does Black Dragons need to do to stop them in their tracks?
I really like what Frito said on the desk. The entire team of Black Dragons, they're putting a lot of marbles invested into Stilo's Doomfist. I guess I don't know. What do Dragons actually defend? I don't know. We'll go full Lord of the Ring. They're putting a lot of gold invested into Stilo's Doomfist. And if you're going to do that, you need to set them up more properly. Whether it's that Slam Jam remix of a Graviton Surge and a Meteor Strike, do that. That's fine. But he needs more space to do what he needs to do. He needs to be enabled more. Nano Boost just isn't enough. He can survive a few hits here and there. He might get a secondary punch, but he's still going to get absolutely destroyed by the Discord Orb that Tiago has been placing on him continuously and dismantling him at that, keep in mind you, because of the 3-3 composition. The sustain for the backline hasn't gone anywhere for Up Gaming whatsoever because they always have a Transcendence, a Lucio ultimate, or even the rally coming out from their Brigitte player, Edgigus. They are just so well-toned to what this meta can bring. And I think if Black Dragons want to continue to play upset into the series and force out a map 5 in a reverse sweep fashion, they're going to need a little bit more. Again, Frito's very right. We need to see a Sombra or more combinations to set up Stilo if that's the route that they want to take.
It's been a little interesting. I thought of a good analogy for you. Smog from The Hobbit.
Yes,
that was the dragon I was thinking of. Was when you were talking about a dragon, and
that's where I was going.
And I think Smog was a black dragon too, wasn't he?
I don't want to put my neck out on this one. I'll make someone mad if I answer.
I am a Lord of the Rings fan, but it's been a little bit since I've watched some, or not even watched, I should say read The Hobbit. So the description of Smog is a little bit off in my head. Regardless, though, we go back into map here. We see Up Gaming defensively coming out on this 3-3 supports, 3 tank comp. And I mean, I don't think we should be surprised since this is pretty much all we've seen them play.
Yeah, Up Gaming only strayed away from this composition when they were trying to stall out point B capture for Black Dragons when we saw Chosen come out on the Hamster and Edgigus come out on the Doomfist. But this is the variation that we got to see from the previous match and why it went so long into so many different sets. Who's going to come out with the Moira? Who's going to come out with the stronger utility? This time it's on the defending team with Tiago on the Zenyatta can absolutely obliterate any tanks, especially because Shanoff already used those bubbles very, very unsparingly.
Chozine getting bullied into the corner, able to fight his way out of it though, and find himself 3 eliminations. That an Earth Shatter charging in.
Man, that was absolutely manic play coming out from our main tank. Chozine up gaming, looking very strong, holding together everybody on this front line and giving everybody a bunch more ult charge at that. Throwing away the Earth Shatter was the right call for the main tank of up gaming, because now this the Transcendence coming out from Tiago in this next fight is going to be pivotal. Does he hold onto it for Sean off's Graviton Surge, or do they use it aggressively to push onto the Mega Pack of up gaming? Both are options that are readily available for Black Dragons, or for up gaming.
Kyo coming back in, charges in, can't fall yet, uses the Coalescence, keep everybody. Chozine's able to take Kyo down again, gets caught into the Graviton Surge, is Stylos on that Diva, and quickly is felled. They do have somebody on point though, so now they've got to hurry and go there. Moira's just going to jump off though and say goodbye.
Try to go play for that back cap, did you, Fetter? Well, we got a Lucio on patrol here. Detective Lucio looking out for any sort of craziness going on back there. Graviton Surge was thrown out in that last fight for up gaming, but this just means that the entire team of Black Dragons, they probably won't look into this Mega Pack. Oh, they just barely missed Chozine. They could have aggressed onto that, but he will get back to the archway and hold on to the Shatter with his life intact.
Didn't want to try and chance it in case they did look to their right when they were coming by on that right side. So now they go and force themselves into that small little room here, but that'll just force everybody back onto the point for the side of up gaming. Black Dragons coming around now. As they get closer to the point, they will have this high ground advantage here. Kyo has his Earth Shatter available as well. They have plenty of ultimates here to try and take this with. Kyo just continue to swing his hammer as they now push their way forward on towards the point. Tried to bait out an Earth Shatter. I think he knows that Chozine has it. Chozine gets caught in, uses the Shatter into it. Self-destruct here, takes Stilo able to get Edgigas down. So the defense starting to falter here a little bit thanks to the ultimates that are available on the board. Chozine so close, ends up getting kept alive thanks to the sound barrier part of the meantime. Eliminates Nitro. Few caught in here, and the counter Shatter off of it is huge for the side of Black Dragons. Tiago, though, finding 2. Tiago not wanting to go down, and Up Gaming's going to stabilize.
They stabilized that fight, and Tiago didn't even have to throw out the Transcendence Vetter throughout the nano boost that was so quickly earned. And Black Dragons, without a tick onto this fight, they find themselves with 1 minute to attack point A. Labosco and Up Gaming, they are going back. Look at Pardo, the big brain Lucio play, waiting for his off tank of TH7, speeding him back, because that particle barrier that goes onto your main tank could turn the change of a fight. Nitro coming back in here with the rally is a lot of armor, but it's nowhere a team fight victory ultimate by any means. Black Dragons need more if they want to take point A.
Chozine, though, closer for the Earth Shatter as well as far as the Reinhardts are considered. Transcendence, everybody up. Chozine uses his Shatter, didn't really get anything. Kyo and him crash into each other, both charging for Nitro, finding TH7, shut off, and Winning King. They are turning this fight for the side of Black Dragons. Just the Lucio here to stall out with 25 seconds left to go, and Hardall will just stall for as long as possible. Doesn't waste his sound barrier, which is important. He got two off the map there too.
Yeah. The roundabout on the bell found the right click on 2. Black Dragons will cap on the point, but they will have to cut through a sound barrier if they hope to create any snowball material onto point B. Hanamura, Black Dragons are not looking too healthy with their ultimates until the middle of this fight. Labosco, this Zarya Graviton Surge from Shawnoff will get stuffed by a sound barrier Pardal if it's timed effectively. Up Gaming playing on the high ground. Black Dragons, they're just barreling in through main, trying to create that snowball effect.
They have that Graviton Surge for that snowball. Looking for the opportunity for it is Shawnoff. Sees that the sound barrier comes out, and now will launch it out. Self-destruct in along with the Earth Shatter finds 2. Great start for the side of Black Game. Winning King getting TH7 down as well. A lot of the damage gone. Chozine, nothing he can do. AGM, the only one left alive, stunned up, flying high into the air is AGM to try and stay alive for as long as possible and stall out. Still not even a tick has been taken by Black Dragons. They're still snowballing this. Have to be careful. They do have some players that are getting separated, and you have Chozine charging with Ear Shatter. Well, this could turn around. Barrier, though, is there in time to keep everybody alive. Up Gaming not going down without a fight, though. Have the Earth Shatter. Here's Kyo to try and finish this one off finally. Looks for his opportunity, uses his shield to make sure everybody stays alive. Who's in behind him? Now he'll use it here. The player's coming back, and it's huge. Finds a few. Pardell so low, able to stay alive. Graviton Surge here grabs a couple in, is the only thing. Silas able to get back into this fight as well. And Tiago finally, they are able to get this one tick down. Can't get past that anymore. 66% as well. AGM back on. They're stalling so well for the side of Up Gaming, but it feels like it's only a matter of time before they can lose this one. The respawn's starting to come back in. Edgy guys can't find anything on the Doomfist as they will slowly lose this.
To Chozine coming back here on the Desperation Hamster, unable to find any sort of footing, won't be able to spin around on one of these lampshades for too long. Black Dragons find their footing after a stall-worthy point A defense from Up Gaming and walk into, oh, isn't that just a great pun right there? They have 2 minutes, 22 seconds, 2-2-2 in the time bank, and I laugh at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just laughing because the current state of the meta for Overwatch is 3-3. You know, we have moved very far away from the standard 2-2 compositions this day. But Up Gaming, they definitely had a very hard time holding themselves on the point B. Tiago took the swap over to Ana on that final moment, tried to deal with a little bit more burst heals that were incoming from the manic amount of damage for Black Dragons on that snowball coming through main. Edgigus got pinballed around as he was pulling out the rally, didn't have anybody to gain the effects of that passive armor from the Brigitte, and came back out on the Doomfist to no avail. And now Up Gaming look to set themselves up on the attack. Something about these teams that you can see the simulator, they like their Moira on attack for some odd reason. The only difference is Vetter is going to come out on the Ana instead for the defense.
Do you like this choice of the Ana?
I mean, you know, come on, you can't even ask me that. Yeah, I like it. Of course I like it. I mean,
Well,
the Biotic
other than the Moira, I know how much you like Moira.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You know, LaFon is probably grimacing over there in the Analyst desert. You ain't wrong. Yeah, I am, in fact, a big fan of Moira, big fan of Ana. The reason being for this Ana on defense, it's so strong. One Biotic Grenade can actually turn the tide of the fight. Up Gaming need to be careful. More importantly, Chozine and AGM, they need to be readily on their feet for the heads-up play to either block the Biotic Grenade or to eat it.
We meet at the choke point where both these teams are. Edgigas on the Brigitte looking for an opportunity to shield bash in on somebody using the bubbles. Wisely, though, is the side of Black Dragons. Missing with his charge was the main tank in Chozine. Hasn't been caught out yet. Black Dragons have a few players really close, and Edgigas able to take advantage of it, swinging that flail in to the rest of Black Dragons, and they will quickly take this first point.
Yeah, quick three-piece combo coming out from Edgigus right there. He's not just a Doomfist player, he can also land that three-pick combo right there. Edgigus is 25% shy to the rally. Is going to be not the most impactful ultimate, as Up Gaming will walk into this next point with a 5-pack of them. But more importantly, look at that Graviton Surge that TH7's holding back into his pocket. If they go with the Coalescence and the cleave damage from Chozine into said Graviton Surge, this will be a very quick capture.
Going in, assuming that there's not those ultimates up yet, use the ult onto Kyo to keep him up. He uses his Earth Shatter because he got it in time thanks to that Nano Boost, and it's going to be enough to clear.
Going to be enough to clear right there. That big charge coming through to stuff into TH7. Oh, come on! Yeah, join in on the dance party. That's my boy, Chozine. He didn't want to go down without a little dancing himself, man. That big charge from Kyo on the entry, the main attack from Up Gaming, caught out TH7. He threw out the Graviton Surge in desperation. Maybe they could have gotten the very quick tick or two off that fight, but it just was not enough. Tiago coming back on the Zenyatta. More utility for the attacking team now with the Discord Orb.
See how they decide to use that orb as they come into this fight. They're going to go onto the high ground to give that Zenyatta the positioning that they want him to have as well. So in that sort of power spot is something that you have already here for the side of Up Gaming. Now they just have to look for their opportunity. They're going to force their way onto point. So this is where the fight will happen. Shanoff already there along with his main tank in Kyo. Chozine looking for his opportunity. Gets caught into the Graviton Surge. Uses his Earth Shatter in response. Sound barriers come out from either side almost simultaneously. Self-destruct in up to the air. Doesn't find anybody, but it displaces players, pushing them away from the point. Shanoff still there trying to keep himself alive in this one, but his players are falling for his team. Chozine able to force his way forward, create more space for his team. The Bastion coming out, but AGM eats everything from it. And going back to spawn now is that Bastion winning team. Now going to be coming back here, though, after getting healed back up. Transcendence keeps everybody alive. Somebody has to get on point. They do have the Tracer there at the very least, looking for somebody, but Winning King quickly fell by TH7. Nitro back onto the point and it's down as well. And 504 goes onto the clock for Upgaming.
Oh my god, I really wish that Bastion could have worked. I really wish it did, but it did not. Upgaming climbing to further heights will have a time bank of 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Do not check your headphones. That is 5 minutes and 4 seconds to attack when it is their turn. 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go back for Black Dragons as they look to reprise their extra inning attack here. And the one swap that they're going to make that change through in their 3-3 composition will be the Ana. They're looking for that deeper utility with the Biotic Grenade compared to the Biotic Orb in between the two supports. One brings a certain amount of burst healing that doesn't get immediately mitigated by a defense matrix if you throw it at your feet. Upgaming, however, will stand tried and true onto their triple support, Zenyatta, Lucio, and Brigitte. Discord Orb has really been working out for Black Dragons. More importantly, I lost myself a little bit in that final moment after the Graviton Surge dissipated from Shawnoff. Upgaming's Chozine took a charge onto Kyo. Kyo was Discord Orbed and got immediately bursted down. All of his HP got immediately obliterated after the charge from Chozine, and it really spelled the end for Black Dragons on their defense there. It was impeccable play and very good coordination coming out from Upgaming.
Well, Vetter, I think, did make that switch over to the Ana later in their attack. Last attack that they had, but they didn't start out with it, so we'll see how much of a difference it can make for them here, at least in this initial push again, as Black Dragons, again, 2:22 is what they had on the clock as they advance forward. Stylo making sure nobody's hiding in behind, see that there's no one there, so they don't have to worry about anything at the choke. Now can look for their opportunity to force their way in. Looks like they might decide to wrap around again. That seems to be what they want to do, but trying to stop them from doing that is Upgaming. They're fighting right now inside that small room, going up towards the high ground now, and Upgaming will just decide to take this fight on the choke at the or on the point at the very least, have another choke for them to work with.
And this is very important, right? Upgaming are just holding on to the point because Black Dragon, they are taking the high ground. They are looking to cut off any sort of sight lines that Upgaming have. But then look at these speed boosts, the aggression coming through from Black Dragons. The charge from Kyo misses, but they have the point and the man advantage. Oh no.
Not anymore. Kyo fails in the fight. TH7 already high charge and building up to that Graviton Surge already to use in their next fight. Great use of their tanks by the side of Upgaming.
Yeah, Upgaming, they understood and read that play like a book. They said, okay, you want to take the high ground? We're just going to sit behind the shield of Chozine, and we're just going to hang out, wait for you to aggress on the point, because this is assault. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you got to pop the point and build up that control meter eventually. Black Dragons are going to be able to walk away with a lot of burst healing from Vetter. Will have a nano boost available. Probably going to go over to Kyo as they look to barrel all the way down the courtyard. Steelo finding TH7. That is huge. Yeah, the grab.
No more grab, and that allows for the Earth Shatter to do whatever they want. And coming charging in is Kyo. Does get the mech out with that. Fire strikes into that baby diva with the help of his team. Will take that pilot out of the fight. But in the meantime, Sound Barrier comes back up and allows for them to re-aggress forward for the side of Upgaming. They have Transcendence here used as well. It's timed perfectly with the use of the Graviton Surge, but they use their Sound Barrier as well for the side of Black Dragon. Self-destruct high into the air for Stylo to make sure that he keeps his mech. Tiago going into that small room, staying alive here. TH7 is back into the fight, has his grab, throws it out, and this is going to be able to switch things around with the help of the self-destruct.
Yeah, AGM holding on to that self-destruct for the bigger bang combo was the right play. Upgaming still have an Earth Shatter in their toe. Chozine just gonna go marching forward. Tiago with the headshot and the body to find two. But 1 second left. Nobody's going to be able to touch the point for Black Dragons. An absolute decimating defense for Upgaming. Clinical support play and even more methodical old economy usage out of the defending team of Upgaming. So now as Black Dragons were unable to accrue any percentage whatsoever, it comes down to that 33.333% or just one tick we know here in Overwatch for Upgaming to walk away with this victory, not only for the map Labasco, but for the series.
Only have 5 minutes and 4 seconds to do it though, Panda. So I guess you could say that's maybe a little bit of time.
Only 5 minutes. It's only 5. You know, you start off the entire map with 4 minutes, but they only have 5 minutes. It's fine. The extra minute and 4 seconds was courtesy of South America region Overwatch that Upgaming just kind of need, just in case this Moira doesn't work out for them.
I guess that's because of the Lafon thoughts of Moira. Is that why you say that?
I just want to make sure that LaFon knows that I deeply care about his opinion, but Moira is still a good hero at the end of the day.
And exactly why Upgaming is already showing us that they already know what they're going to use on their offense. Vetter is using the on the Ana once again, and they didn't have it to the effect that they thought they were going to last time. I mean, TH7 down in that fight early, you'd think that fight was won. They're going with basically the same thing they just were on for Black Dragons.
Yeah, no team is fixing a darn thing. Tiago played that Moira on attack. Vetter played the Ana on defense, but it didn't really work out for you, did it, Black Dragons? But maybe they have a tactical choice here in mind on how they take this defense, a little bit more tactical than their point B defense when they caught out Chosine. But as they walk in here, Upgaming with their tried and true on the Moira, the name of the game is not to let that Biotic Orb get eaten, so that way you can have a manic amount of burst heals onto the front line in between Chosine, AGM, and TH7.
Swinging his way in is Chosine. The stun comes out, but it causes him just to hit the ground for Kyo, and he falls because of it. Chosine swinging that hammer, finds himself one more, looking for another, just trying to get that barrier off of the Lucio. He's not the one who takes it. Oh, and he decides that he's going to show him how well he was able to get him down and out, as they will get this 33% and get the win for Upgaming.
That was absolute savage there. Chosine did not enjoy the dance party that he had given to him on point B, so he wanted to give it back ever so slightly tactically at that. Though Black Dragons were unable to accrue any percentage whatsoever, just to correct myself, before that point A attack for Upgaming, that Upgaming did solidify the series. And even more so by taking the map of Hanamura. They go up 3-0. We still have one more map to go through Labasco. But Black Dragons, they did have some bright spots there, especially when they understood their support economy and how to utilize them effectively into their entire team composition.
And if you want to potentially be able to make yourself appear on screen and tactically crouch in certain places, well, you can do that if you assemble your team and compete the Overwatch Open Division. It's the entry-level program for aspiring professionals, and it's the proving grounds where players can test their strengths as teammates. Don't wait up. Signups end on December 3rd, so make sure you do that now. But for the side of Black Dragons, obviously it's a point of pride here to try and get this final map, and it's also important as far as we know, as far as how it could come down to playoff positioning. But going down 0-2, they've already dug themselves a hole in this spot. For Upgaming, you want to stay here with some of the teams that have also played today. We know that this is kind of a crazier side of the bracket as far as everything's concerned. So if you get another 4-0, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good, and it can set yourself up pretty well, all things considering, in this group. From the match previously, it went the distance, so that map differential, it is very important. And like you said, Labasco and Upgaming are looking to get that lead towards their name in this group phase. And take a look at a few of these highlights here, and the stalling out here for the attacking phase of Black Dragons was very well done. They seem to hold themselves together for that big timing bank, but it's just the veteranship of Upgaming. Sure, you can argue that Black Dragons, they are a past retired ragtag group of individuals that got together for this season of Contenders, but Upgaming, these are well-class South American region players that they have been firing off on all cylinders for the entire 2018 season. They've only been getting better, more specifically TH7 and Chosine. The synergy in between your Zarya and the Reinhardt means everything. There's that play I was talking about, that crazy charge to absolutely obliterate Kyo. And as we get this recontest here in this final moment too, this is where TH7 got to walk back, and that Graviton Surge definitely spelled a good end. Upgaming, they have more bright spots than Black Dragons, but Black Dragons within their own right are still holding firm, again, once they understand the compositions that they want to play.
Now for the side of Upgaming, what has been, one of the things that's impressed you the most up until this point? I think we've seen Chosine has been able to sort of show off on this Ryan really well. In part, obviously, he's being enabled well, but I think he's always he seems to make really good decisions.
He really does. I mean, you don't see any kind of wicked charges coming out from the Reinhardt, across map charges, nothing all too insane, really just really reined in. And we've been talking about this throughout the entire day about aggressive or more passive Reinhardts, which kind of give you the more advantage. Well, there's kind of a right time for a Reinhardt in different situations, when to be more aggressive and when to be more passive. Route 66, on the other hand, will be your next map, your final map of the day, your escort map, and believe it or not, could actually end up flopping us on our faces, and we could see more Winston rather than Reinhardt from Chosine.
it's definitely a possibility. We've seen some crazy tactics used here on Route 66. We also know that it's Sombra's playground, so that's. I mean, we haven't seen any Sombra here really for the most part, so I don't think we will. But it's always a possibility. 3-3 is so strong here too, so there's a bevy of opportunities to play different comps. I don't think these teams are going to maybe go away from that, though. Do you think so, Panda? Because they've been pretty, we're going to stay on GOAT sort style comps, and that's what we're going to do.
I was legitimately about to say, I mean, don't kid yourself. We can speculate all day, but speculating it can be very bad for your mental health this day and age of Overwatch, because most teams, yes, it will literally just be 3-3. I can almost guarantee you, unless we see a reprise of our hybrid map and the entire team of Black Dragons look to set up Stilo on that Doomfist that much further, maybe we will see a little more flexibility. But again, we haven't seen much flexibility coming out from Up Gaming because they've been able to snuff out any sort of silly play, solo DPS Doomfist play that Black Dragons wanted to bring to the table, just because of what 3-3 does. So long as you can keep showing Chozine the way, if you will, keeping him over-sustained with all those resources of the triple support, no Doomfist is going to be able to do anything unless you land one crazy punch on to a Brigitte.
Well, I was about to say this, but TH7 is known as a pretty good Sombra player, so looks like that's what we get to see here. So we do get to see something that's not 3-3 Panda. We do.
Yeah, we actually get to see the flex. It's happening. It's happening. On defense for Up Gaming. They're going to actually play this hamster defense. A little tip your hat to the Overwatch World Cup South Korean team that they played in their group stage. Doomfist, Sombra, the silence, the punch, the pile drive. Oh, it's such a scary composition. Very oppressive, driven dive comp coming out from Up Gaming, all held together by Tiago on this Ana.
And of course, the change is what Chozine tries to do as that main tank, being the fact that he can kind of just do, he's a little bit more utility in certain areas that he can do, pile driving his way onto somebody there. But Stylo's already found Partles, so he's already not going the best. Oh, but the fire strike from Kyo gets Edgigas, so Up Gaming not off to the best start. TH7, though, finds Nitro at the very least on that Widowmaker, but Cart is moving pretty easily here. You may have enough time for one more defensive opportunity for Up Gaming before they get to the doors, but that looks like it might not be the case. Ooh,
yeah, they come through the billboard. Yeah, they come through the billboard.
Chozine was still there behind as well. Didn't see that he was still there, so he's able to help stall out as well. And then she got back in and is able to rectify for his earlier mistakes. And now it looks like Up Gaming will have control.
It's so scrappy, these fights. That's just what these compositions do. Nitro came back on the Tracer of all things because there's no Brigitte in play. What the heck is going on over here on Route 66? There's no Brigitte on the field? Oh my god. But they're really doing a good job of setting up Stilo. The Widowmaker was a good start. Edgigas on the Doomfist wins that proverbial 1v1, and another pile drive from Chozine. It's going to solidify this defense for Up Gaming.
Solidifies it here, just looking to clean up a couple of stragglers. Tracer quickly gone, and no Brigitte, no problem for either of these teams, and I don't think we have a problem with it. Is a good thing.
I really don't.
Wow, he's cleaning up kills there too.
Yeah, the hamster being very effective here, and that's the more important part. TH7 can land a hack. Edgigas comes in with the seismic slam. Chozine lands then after with the pile driver. That target gets absolutely obliterated. So now Nitro likes the flavor that TH7 brought inside his coffee. Is going to bring out his own Sombra, but oh, the EMP self-destruct combo still so strong.
So perfectly timed by TH7 and an AGM. And they win that fight with nothing but 2 ultimates, and when they're about to get a few more, they're going to have those mines that they can place down eventually by Chozine wherever they please, and that cart continues to move back.
Continue to move backwards. The opposite wind of the sails have been set for Up Gaming on this defense. No, I guess a sort of main tank in play for Chozine on those remote mines could be very hard for the Tide of Black Dragons to cut through. They kept themselves inside that cubby, so easy pickings for Chozine.
Super easy when you're in a small area to try and take care of those last few targets, and if a Doomfist decides to charge in like that, it's even better. He threw him right into a mine.
right into a mine. Chosine actually found 3, I believe, if not 4, with that hamster ultimate. You almost never really see it because teams are pretty good at trajecting where that the Hammond player is coming from. Up Gaming now, they're setting themselves up in a last team fight scenario to win this, or to solidify this defense as a full hold on point A, Route 66. Black Dragons looking to play upset. They have Vetzer's Nano Boost to go on to Kaio, but it actually goes on to Silo, and he's got to go full level 3 into this Diva.
Quickly takes the Wrecking Ball down. Edgigas up into the air using his Meteor Strike. I think we have both Meteor Strikes might have been used here. Edgigas just going on to the high ground there just to stay alive. I think he's just looking to stall for as long as possible, but Stylo spots him out in the meantime, and he loses that battle. But it doesn't matter. His team's winning the one up front, although not anymore as the respawns come back in. They're able to take back control of carts.
Able to reposition themselves very promptly too. That is just the oppression that Hamster brings to the table. Even when you deal with him effectively, he can grapple hook away and beat back into the middle of the team fight. Finds 2 at the tail end. Chosine, you're insane. Nobody from Black Dragons is able to make it to the point in time. Nitro, even on that McCree, sure, I guess you could say the role is a certain mobility that you could bring to the table, but it's just not quick enough. Up Gaming with a firm defense on point A, above Big Earl's gas station on Route 66. Now they have their win condition in their eyes. 75 meters, Labasco will give Up Gaming the 4-0.
No Brigitte, no problem. That's for sure. And now I mean, they have so much time. I mean, for now, it's no problem. That's for sure. And I think it looks like they might show us a simple. No, they're actually TH7 here. You know, offense, they can maybe show us something different, but you know, Up Gaming has not really hidden comps from us. They've kind of been showing us here, even though, you know, offensive teams usually mess around. They haven't done that, and they're showing us a Genji.
It's no problem for Up Gaming that there was no Brigitte play, but I think it's definitely a problem that Black Dragons didn't bring a Brigitte to the table because they looked the best when they have a Brigitte on their side. And it could have helped them out too. When TH7 was coming out of South, could have shield bash and one comboed him to be down an easy cleanup for your Zarya or main tank player right then and there. They just need to stick together a little better. Black Dragons seem to spill their entire bag of marbles all over the floor and don't understand how they want to pick them up properly. Up Gaming, on the other hand, you can see the veteranship again coming through. They know where to be. They know how to combine all of their ultimates and abilities even to come up on any edge of a team fight. You can say that for sure and with utter confidence because they are making the hamster comp work.
Black Dragons have finally shown what they're going to do defensively here too, so it looks like they're going to try and make that Wrecking Ball work for Up Gaming. Black Dragons, they're going to go with the McCree here for Shauna.
Yeah, and Steel is going to be on that Zarya too. It's going to be that off-tank position that we have him listed as. Finds a flashbang, and Pardo's out of the fight very early, so Up Gaming, they need to back out and reassess their positioning and wait for their flex support to come back.
Ooh, and TH7 almost falling there thanks to the Ana who's been keeping pressure on him, and Vetter just, you know, his tanks are fine. He can try and play a little bit of offensive Ana there, at least for the second. But now Chosine comes in with the pile driver, and here comes the rest of the dive. Edgigas getting stunned all over the place, but is able to survive, kept alive by his backline. And Tiago, who's so close to that nano boost already, TH7 halfway to the nano blade.
Oh, big pile driver coming out from Chosine, knocks off 4, and AGM's right there for the follow-up. Main heals out of the way for Black Dragons. Now Up Gaming are just cutting through the entire team of Black Dragons. Edgigas on that Doomfist, we knew him from the past season of Contenders, is coming back out here alive and well. Up Edgigas went into that first, in the beginning of that team fight, got shield bash and then flashbang. Almost seemed like he was about to go down, but Tiago was able to keep him alive. And like you said, Labasco, all 4 of those ultimates for Up Gaming is going to spell the end of Black Dragon's hope on winning this map. But they're able to get back here, and they're going to be able to recontest. But Edgigas, he's being an absolute ninja. He's coming out behind them underneath, and he finds Vetter.
Oh, he's got the Ana, and now comes out the Nano Blade, quickly slices through, winking. Another one dashed into in Nitro, and Chosine with those mines, looking to reflect Sean off's. High noon didn't really matter because he fell anyways. And now you just have the Meteor Strike just to put the exclamation point on the win. Up Gaming win 4-0.
Did you see that superhero landing from Edgigas? I saw it. It was pretty awesome, right?
Majestic.
It was very awesome. It was pretty. It was real pretty. But at the end of the day, Chosine should not have been getting that much work done on the Hammond in particular. He was very aggressive, and there were a multitude of moments that Black Dragons could have punished him for his overaggression, but it just was not there. Up Gaming one step ahead on the compositions they wanted to play and the on the styles that they wanted to bring from map to map. We'll take all 4 maps in this series and we'll go into the next week with their heads held high.
Yeah, 2-0 for them right now. 0-2 for Black Dragons. They haven't been able to find themselves a map win yet. But to break down all of that and more, of course, we have our gracious host in Katrina and her 2 stellar analysts in Frito and Lafon. So Katrina, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you so much, Labasco and Panda. That was yes, as you said, just remarkable coming from Educus, especially on that Doomfist with Tisha Zine following up with so much just devastating damage on that Wrecking Ball. I think we can say for the 3 of us that this was just a showcase of Upgaming's skill. Do you have any thoughts on what we have just seen, Frito?
Yeah, I mean, Upgaming, I said it at the start, I think they're playoff bound, and we'll have to see when they start to come up against some of these other playoff contending teams, what's going to happen. You know, Black Dragons, they're a team who I think really struggling to find their identity here early in the season and are learning some pretty harsh lessons by a team that flexes around the entire meta. They can run the 3-3, all the variations, and as well, they might be the most comfortable team running the Doomfist Sombra combination because in the playoffs and last season, they were one of the innovators of that comp. Very familiar with it. It seems like Tishojin is looking for an excuse to go onto the Hammond pick. And the thing is as well, when you're so coordinated with how you're going in, even as Panda was saying on the cast, if they do focus down the Wrecking Ball, it almost doesn't matter too much as long as he sucks up enough cooldowns because you know you have a star player in Edgigus and your anti-nades are getting hit, your abilities are landing, really breaking open those fights anyway. So I think we could get into more specifics about some questionable team comp decisions, but for me, even if those get fixed from Black Dragons, I don't know if they even find an entry point because Upgaming, they're serious contenders in South America.
They certainly are, and next week, Lafon, they are going to be facing up against LFT, the team who had won our second matchup of the day. This might be one of the biggest matchups of the entirety of South American contenders, and I think will be a really good chance for these teams to prove who reigns supreme. Who do you think you're giving the edge to for next week?
I mean, it's actually really, really cool that we're seeing these many good matches throughout the regular season because this group here, we talked about LFT Owl versus LFO today actually being a really close matchup, and that just finished as a 3-2 earlier in the day. And I think in the other group, we see that there's contenders with base tryhards in TSN, the Tusquino Nation. And in this group here, we have 3 teams that are fighting for that top spot. Upgaming, LFO, and LFT Owl. So I think looking at the gameplay that we saw from Upgaming here, looking at the gameplay we saw from LFT Owl earlier today, that matchup is going to be really, really close. And I think it'll come down to which team is going to have those more clutch moments, that if you will, because I think there are certain weaknesses in LFT Owl. I wasn't too impressed with some of their aggressiveness earlier today. They did pull out the victory in the end, but they looked a little bit shaky doing it. On the other hand, Upgaming hasn't really been tested so far. They've played a very, very aggressive game today, but Black Dragons, even though they did provide some moments, I think Upgaming was clearly the better team. And then they played a struggling Fury last week. So for Upgaming, next week is going to be their first real test, and it will sort of spell, I guess, the moment where we actually got to see how the rankings end towards the end of the season. Because as you just saw earlier, Upgaming right now are 2-0 and 8-0 in map score. So they are very clearly in the driver's seat there. Can they keep it into next week going up against a relatively strong LFTL?
What do you think, Frito? Who are you predicting is going to take that matchup next week?
Well, here's the thing. I do definitely agree that Upgaming maybe have had an easy first 2 weeks, but if we think back to their previous iteration in Season 2, they started out the season struggling, down a few games. Then with the key pickup, as we mentioned at the half, Edgigus, who they rode out a successful run deep into the playoffs, I believe getting to the semifinals, if my memory is correct, only losing to Brazil Gaming House. So this team has been tested, but more so last season. And my question is, do they look good enough on the most meta comps right now to compete with some of the best? And I would say, I think I have the confidence that they do. in that matchup specifically, LFT, we can clearly say that I think Olay is probably the best support on the battlefield. But we also have guys like Partle on the side of Up Gaming who, listen, every time he's on A, stalling on Hanamura, expect 2 to 3 kills. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter what, even when they're losing those fights, he's surviving, stalling it. And of course, those are the really flashy plays. They show up in the highlight reels and maybe on Reddit. But for me, Partle, his sound barrier timings are just impeccable, absolutely perfect. You have Tisuzine, who I think, although might not be the best Reinhardt in the entire region, is definitely in sync with his team and is willing at least to go for some of these aggressive plays where if he sees the enemy Rein out of position, he'll put his life on the line, so to speak, to make the play. Whereas Fasty for LFT, I think, is definitely more nervous in those situations and can basically definitely can develop that over time. It's something that with experience you can get. Of course, Fasty transition from the off tank role to the main tank role has the mechanics to play it, but maybe not necessarily the understanding of where his like pins will take him or how aggressive he can be and being able to flex that onto the enemy team. So for my money, at least, I think Up Gaming is looking strong in that matchup coming up next week, but both teams will have a lot to work on. And something that's scary for Up is that LFT has more to improve on, whereas Up Gaming has sort of had an easy go of the first 2 weeks and probably will need to get some quality scrim time to try to see where their biggest weaknesses lie.
Yes, I completely agree. And thankfully for our viewers at home, they do not have to wait this entire week to see that incredible matchup. There's going to be even more exciting Overwatch coming to you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, excuse me, Saturday, from South American Contenders, starting off with the formerly known Brazilian gaming house. They have rebranded as Base Tryhards versus Quad Gaming. So be ready for that on Saturday. But I would just like to thank all of the casters, these great analysts, Frito and Lafon, and of course our wonderful producers, Mirai and Mushu, for an incredible night of Overwatch. And thank you to those of you at home for joining us. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you again Saturday.